We have to try that one.
Okay. So this is Belisi and Lenny. We're talking about Unit 11. This very special word in Greek that has three distinctly different meanings. Okay. The word is aŭtos. Notice it has a smooth breathing. Aute and auton. It has a smooth breathing, an accent on the last syllable, and there's no form of this word that could be confused with the word for this, hutos. Whenever hutos has an AU, there's a T. Hutos haute tuta has an H, or rather, and the accent on the first syllable, not on the last one. That's the only one. The others have a T. Yep. So there's no chance that you can confuse it if you remember what you're looking at. Okay. This word is confusing because it has three distinctly different meanings, and here's the way to tell what it means. The basic split is it's either an adjective, okay, or a pronoun. So the first thing to determine is whether it is an adjective or a pronoun, all right, in order to determine the meaning. And if it's an adjective, it has a different meaning if it's in attributive position or if it's in predicative position. So you can put attributive versus predicative if you want, and then underneath that. But actually, let's do it the other way around. Erase that, and first let's do the first thing to do is to determine whether it's an adjective or a noun. Okay, let's say adjective versus noun. Okay, so the first question to determine is that. So write down the number 1. Is it an adjective or a noun? Okay. And if it's a noun, I'll tell you what it means. But how do you tell? Okay, the way you tell if it's an adjective or a noun, Belisi, you're getting out of the screen here, is this, okay? If it's an adjective, it's modifying, it has the gender, number, and case of another noun. It's modifying another noun, okay? If there's no other noun that it's modifying, okay, it's a noun by itself, okay? So, in practice this sounds weird, but in reality it's very easy to determine. All you have to do is look at the gender, number, and case of the form of aŭtos, and if there's any other noun that has the same gender, number, and case, you know it's an adjective, okay? If it's a noun, here's what it means, okay? It's the third person pronoun. This is the first time we have an actual Greek personal pronoun. It means her, him, or it, okay? Notice I'm starting out with her, him, and it. I'm not saying he, she, and it. Her, him, or it, and they, and them, rather, and that's it. That's it. The reason that we don't say he, she, and it is because if it's in the nominative, it automatically is an adjective. It has to agree with the subject, right? And in a Greek verb, the subject can be implicit, okay? So you can rule out that it's a noun if it's in the nominative case, okay? It has to be an adjective if it's nominative. All right. And, no nominative noun, okay? 3 M's, okay? All right, so that's why we're saying her, him, and it, because it never is he, she, or it, and it's never they, it's always them, okay? So you can delete the they there. That was my mistake, okay? It can only mean them in the plural. Okay, so now let's switch to when it's an adjective, okay? By the way, the forms of aŭtos, auton, the adjectival categories are the same as agathos. It doesn't have the funny neuter, or does it? Auton. It does have auton. Yep. Yes. Sorry, it does. It's not auton. It's auton. Right, let's fix that.
There we go. It never happened.
All right. Let's go back to the second screen. Okay. So if aŭtos is an adjective, okay, it can be either in attributive or predicative position. Now I think we've gotten pretty good at this. Okay. If there's an article preceding the form of aŭtos, okay, and and no noun in between, okay, then it's in attributive position, right? If there's a previous article and no noun before it, then the adjectival form of aŭtos is in attributive position. So what does it mean? If it's in attributive position, it means same, okay? So here's the standard example. αὐτός, anthropos. That's going to mean the same human being. You can remember, you can have attributive position work by repeating the article. You can also say anthropos, anthropos αὐτός, anthropos αὐτός, or aŭtos anthropos. The article doesn't have to come before the noun, okay? Those are all examples of aŭtos in the attributive position. Last one being anthropos aŭtos without the from it. Okay, those are all examples of attributive aŭtos, and they all mean the same human being in English. Okay, so that's very distinct in meaning. The English adjective same from him and her and it and them. Okay, there's no way in which you could confuse those in English, but it's the same word formally in Greek, but in terms of syntax, not. Okay. Third screen is going to be the adjective when it's in predicative position. In other words, not in attributive position. Okay, when there is no article preceding it without an intervening noun. Okay.
Technical difficulties.
You'll get there.
All right.
Okay.
Predicative.
So, predicative position of aŭtos.
Yeah.
No article before it. Okay. So what happens when aŭtos is in predicative position? So we take the same example. If we have ha anthropos and we have aŭtos right after it, okay? Sorry to confuse you,
Okay.
Belisi. Ha anthropos aŭtos, okay? Now here's what this means, okay? This means the human being, him or herself, okay? And that word, herself, is in English, it's a confusing word, okay? Because it's two things in English, him or herself. Herself can be a pronoun, like she likes herself, okay, or he likes himself, but it can also be an adjective, and that's what it is here. The human being herself is an intensifying adjective, right? The book itself says, right? It's an adjective that follows a noun that intensifies its meaning. The book itself, the very book, okay? It means about the same thing. So it's a funny word, but it's not a reflexive pronoun, as in she likes herself or he likes himself. That's a noun, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, we're going to not confuse ourselves in English about categories that are different in Greek. Okay. So let's sum up, okay? Oh man, why did I keep that there? Yeah, you're back again. So the first thing to do is to figure out whether it's a noun or an adjective.
Right.
And it's a noun if it's not agreeing with any other noun in the sentence. You have to look at the gender, number, and case and see if there's another noun agree with it. And that means that it can never be a noun if it's in the nominative case.
Right.
Okay. And in those cases, if it is a noun, it means him, her, it, or them. It can be genitive, it can be dative, it can be accusative, but it can never be nominative. So it can be to or for him or her, or it. It can be of him, her, or it, and it can be the object of the verb, him, her, it, or them. Okay. Otherwise, if it's in attributive position, it means same. Okay. And if it's in predicative position, it's the intensifying adjectival form of the word himself, herself, ourselves, themselves, all those things work. They, themselves, we, ourselves. Okay? So, for example, if you have aŭtoi, the nominative plural form of aŭtos, agreeing with the subject of a sentence, like that's first person plural, it means we ourselves do this, and that. Okay? Mm-hmm. So if we say aŭtoi paideomen, first person plural. Okay, you want to change the accent on the aŭtoi there. Belisi just tried to erase it with her finger.
It's almost like a real blackboard.
Yeah.
Really.
if it's autoi with paideomen, it means we ourselves are teaching. Okay, there's so it can be ourselves, yourselves, him, her, selves, themselves. Okay, all different persons. So it's a very different thing from the pronoun and from the adjective that means same. All right, that's it.